Hey, this is Miss Billerbeck. We're going to do a recap of all the construction that we've learned during Unit 8. So if you could get mathspad.com it's mathspad.com, or you could get your own protractor and compass out and ruler and do this manually. I just like the online version, so it's a helpful tool. All right, so let's get our math pad out. Okay, so the first thing we learned was how to copy a line. So since life's too short to not have color, let's use a different color. How about blue this time? So let's draw a line here, and we want to copy that line. So we get this compass out, and we put the needle right on this end. If we want to stretch it, we click this, we grab the point of the pencil, we stretch it out, and we click and lock it in. Now, we also need a little dot. So when we do a dot, we want to use this little crayon, not the line, because this is a crazy old little tool. Okay, it could go all over the place. Okay, so this does not make a straight line. So if you want to erase anything, you hit clear. So we just want to make a dot with this, and then we're done with it. Okay, so don't make your lines with the crayon. Okay, so now we don't want it anymore. Bye. Okay, so we want this line. Okay, so now we need to use a construction line. So this line, this thick line, is great for the actual object. You can also use this line for the object, but this line is the best one for a construction line because construction lines just tell you where to go, but you don't want them to draw attention to themselves. So in engineering, we use construction lines a lot, or at least when we used to do manual drawings. Actually, I use them in AutoCAD as well, but I put them on a different level, and so I can hide that level, a layer, I should say. So I put construction tools on different layers, so I have them when I'm creating a design, but I can also make them all disappear all at once because they're on a layer I can hide. So now back to what we were doing. Okay, again, this is the same length as that line. So we're going to put the needle right on this dot and make a random arc. Okay, so now no matter where we draw a line that connects that point to that arc, it will be the exact same length because these are all radii. So that's the same length as our original line. That's the same length as the original line. That's the same length. So I'm making multiple copies of this line. So that's how we learned how to copy a line. All right, so let's look at copying an angle. I just did that in the last section. So if we copy an angle, we have a random angle here, and let's make a line like that. Okay, so we're going to go to construction with line, lock the needle right here, and it doesn't really matter the size of the arc we're going to do. We just have to make sure to hit both of the sides of the angle. Now we move this needle to this line segment, and we make an arc there as well. Now to figure out where this missing side is right here, what we're going to do is we're going to find out the width between these two intersections of that arc right here. So if we can copy this distance right here, we'll be able to replicate the angle or copy the angle. So let's go put our needle right here. And we don't need to make a huge circle, we just need to make an intersection. So you draw once you click this little X. There you go. And you can move your compass off to the side. Now we want to go back to the thicker line for the object line. And we're going to start here at our vertex of our new angle. Going to make sure that line's going right through the intersection. If we're not quite sure, we can always snap right on the intersection and it's exact. And then we can try another line like that, and that really shows that you've got it. But you don't have to do the second line. The first one's fine. Okay, so that's how you copy an angle. So last week we learned how to make a perpendicular bisector. So a few of you might have been absent, so this might be the first time you've seen it. Okay, so I'd ask you what color, but you're not here. So sorry if you don't like my color choices. Okay, so we're going to go, how about orange? We haven't used orange. Okay, so orange. We're going to make a perpendicular bisector. So let's draw a line segment. And what we're going to do is we're going to just take some, we can go to the end point here. And we want to stretch this out. We want it beyond the midpoint. Now, midpoint is halfway. Our perpendicular bisector is actually going to go right through this midpoint, which is going to be right about here. So we need to stretch this a little bit farther. So don't make this line segment too long, because look, this only extends this far. Okay, so we're a little limited by our tools. So let's just extend it beyond the midpoint just a bit. Let's go to the construction line. And we're going to make a big arc like that. And move this to the other side and make another big arc. And look at that. I can't see one of my intersections. That's a bummer. So let me start that over. Okay, so let's go back to the middle. So we make mistakes, we try again. So we line up this, we choose a construction line. Let's set this a little bit beyond the midpoint. And we have to be able to see both intersections, unlike my first attempt. And then there we go. We have two intersections. We're there. Now we can create an intersection. And whoops, I want the thick line there. Okay, so we can create a perpendicular bisector now from connecting this to this. So this is the exact, if we look at the ruler, okay, so if this is a 7.5, so 3.5 is half of 7, and then half of half is 2.5, so that'd be about 3.55, or yeah, so we'd have 7.5 divided by 2 would be 3.75, which is right where we are. Okay, so then we want to make, I'll show you that using a protractor, if we line up this, whoops, didn't mean to move that. And we put the target right there. Look at that, we made it a 90-degree angle. So that's what makes it a perpendicular bisector. It's right in the middle. and it's 90 degrees. So let's look at an angle bisector now. Let's turn our ruler and our protractor off. And our compass, we're going to need that. So if we want to clear everything, we're going to hit clear. So we're going to create an angle bisector. So let's choose green. It's not choosing green for some. There we go. All right. So let's see. So we have an angle here. And we're going to put a needle on the angle here. Going to go to a construction line. And make, whoops, my compass went a little nuts there. You do not need to do a circle. So all you really need to do is intersect those two lines there. So let's move this around. Okay, so we just need to intersect these two lines, which is similar to copying an angle. But to do a bisector then, we just go here and we line the needle up with the intersections here. And we only need a little arc right here, right, like that. And like that. And then we can thicken this line and draw from here to our intersection. And we have a perpendicular bisector. So if we get this out and we line this up, we can rotate this down. Okay, we see that this is at 25, so that should be at 50, and it is. So that's a perpendicular, or I'm sorry, an angle bisector. All right. So let's look at an equilateral triangle. Okay. Let's use pink. All right. So an equilateral triangle, if I start with some random line like this, all I have to do is lock this needle in to the length of this random line, lock it to that length. Whoops, I want to make a construction line right here. Okay, so I can make a little construction line like that, and then change the needle to the other side. And now I'm set. All I have to do is thicken this line and I've got an equilateral triangle. So I can go from here to this intersection and from this intersection here, and that is an equilateral triangle. There you have it. So let's look at a parallelogram. So let's say our parallelogram, let's see if I can write using this thing so I can actually give you the dimensions that I'm going to make. So let's clear. Bear with me if my writing is horrible. So let's see, it's probably 7 centimeters. Hey, it's not so bad. So one side 7 centimeters and 4.5 centimeters. And we have the measure of an angle. Let's make it angle B equals 1/3 3, 5, and that's going to be degrees. Okay. Okay, so guys, you're seeing me learn how to write on this for the very first time. So this is going to be, we're going to call this quadrilateral A, B. So AB. Oh, so let's write the name of the quadrilateral. So we'll do it A, B, C, and D. Okay, and this one's going to be B, C, and I think we're going to make a parallelogram. So I'm going to make a little shape here, which means parallelogram. So that means parallelogram. Oh, that's a long word to write. Okay, I'm taking one for the team here. Okay, you guys know how to spell parallelogram, right? Parallel. Okay, Mama's there. A gram. You guys should really try this. This is hard. Parallelogram. And then it A, B, C, D. Okay, so that's what that little symbol right here means, is parallelogram. Okay, so we are going to make this side, and this angle, and make a parallelogram from that. And believe it or not, you will be able to do that. So let's start by getting our ruler out and making a little space right here from my fabulous writing. Okay, let's center this ruler. And then we are going to draw a 7-centimeter long line. Okay, so now let's move to the construction line. All right, we know that, why is this not moving? Oh, you have to select it to move it, by the way. Okay, so we know that BC is 4.5. So, oops, we want to get the needle over here so we can set this to 4.5. There we go, 4.5. And we lock it in. Okay, so it's in a construction line mode. So we don't need a big circle because sometimes those are confusing and they're kind of hard to make sometimes. So we know 135 is going to be a big angle. So let's go like that. And it's from angle B. So this vertex of this line segment is B. So that's A and that's B. So we're going to make another arc right here. Okay, so now let's get our protractor out. We're going to take this target here and put it right on there. If it's not lined up, you can rotate it down. So it is. So it should be making a nice line with your original line segment. Okay. All right. So we see with my fabulous writing here, it's 135 degrees. So 135 degrees right here, I just made the arc long enough. So I'm going to start here. Now this tool again has something strange going on. So if I were to go from this vertex here, I can't go up and down. Yikes. So I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the 135 right here, and I'm going to come down to the vertex. All right, so we're done with the protractor. It's gone. Okay, so we also know that this length right here is 7. So now let's take this, and we have an intersection here. So let's use that intersection. Let's set this here. And we're going to come back to this little intersection here. And we're going to take this around over here. And we're going to make a little arc here. This is why we don't want to make a lot of arcs, because this intersection here could really mess us up. It's this intersection that we care about. All right, so we have everything we need to know to make this parallelogram. So let's make a thicker line. And let's move, whoops, that was not planned. Okay, so I want to get the compass to go away, but it didn't. Okay, there we go. And it should have just, there we go, it's gone. Okay, so again, we can't start here and reach up to this point because of some issue with this ruler tool. So if you want to make a line segment, you have to start from away from it. And then we're going to go to that intersection and then down here. And look at that, we have a parallelogram. Okay, we also learned some cool things about parallelograms if you watched one of my videos. So if that's one of 135, I think we might have made a 135 degree angle right here. So let's see. Oh, look at that. Isn't that cool? Okay, and then if that was 7, let's see. Look at that. Hey, it's 7 too. So we're doing our happy dance. We did it. Okay, so that was the review of all the construction that you learned in chapter 8 or unit 8. So please feel free to watch this again and again and have some fun with MassPad or with your compass and protractor. Have a lovely day and stay well.